Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. This is Himanshu Kashyap and you are watching Weekly Cricket Dose. Today we are going to talk about yesterday's match between SRH and Royal Challenge Bangalore. You all know what happened. It was another nail biter. We're going to talk all about it. And so we'll basically breaking this entire video into 5 segments and we're gonna focus on those 5 segments. So the first of those 5 segments is Glenn Maxwell. Glenn Maxwell played an absolute gem of an innings yesterday and he scored 59 runs off 41 balls, which is a tremendous effort on that kind of surface and given on that kind of bowling attack of SRH. So Glenn Maxwell, by the way, scored his first 50 in 5 years. The last time he scored 50 was 2016. So this was a good comeback, sort of comeback for him, and hope he goes strength to strength from here and performs well. Couple of things I want to mention about him, that even though he was set, he batted for 40 balls, but it was never looked like a Glenn Maxwell inning, typical Glenn Maxwell inning, which shows what kind of a surface it was. It needed someone to stay till the end, who was set and who could take the game. Even Glenn Maxwell couldn't do it at the death overs, where he's typically very good, but he was struggling to at times to get battle balls. So it shows how difficult of a pitch it was, and eventually RCB put up 149 runs, which was eventually proved to be more than what was required. But in my opinion, it was slightly above par, slightly, because in the previous edition of IPL 2019, which was conducted in India, in Chennai, the average score was 144, so it was just above the par score, and Glenn Maxwell played a tremendous knock to help RCB get over there, which at point looked very impossible to get around the 16 over mark. Now the most interesting thing and interesting comments I've been hearing on air is that, is AB de Villiers batting too low in this RCB lineup? So we have usually seen AB de Villiers batting either number 3 or number 4. Back in 2016, when RCB was doing so great, we were seeing ABD and Virat Kohli, two batting geniuses, batting together and making the most out of it. And this year somehow ABD has been given the role of a finisher, and I think on these sorts of pitches, especially in Chennai, where the wicket will be sluggish and it will be very hard to get off the block and start tonking the ball from the get-go. It will be very difficult. So I think RCB is missing a trick by sending ABD too far low. Maybe he could have traded place with Shahbaz Ahmed. If I know he is a good power hitter, so he can do that role, but RCB this season seems like have given that finishing role to AB de Villiers, and Glenn Maxwell is playing on 4th down. So it's really interesting to see that tactics, and I don't know if it's gonna work, but as far as my opinion go, if AB de Villiers is in your team, he should be facing most of the ball, because he is that good of a batsman to be playing that down. Maybe someone else can be a finisher. Anyways, now it was time for SRH to start the inning. It was a great start by RCB. SRH was bowling absolutely gorgeously. He bowled 2 overs for 2 runs. That too, one was given wide, which in my opinion wasn't a wide. It was a proper bouncer, should not have been called a wide. So in 2 overs, he gave away 2 runs, while on the other end, the other bowlers were struggling. So RCB got to a good start. In the second over, Siraj's second over, he got rid of with the Saha. A beautiful catch by Glenn Maxwell at point. The owners of the innings again came on to the David Warner. David Warner for SRH has been the dark horse. He has been doing all the hard work for SRH in the previous seasons. I think his past 5 seasons he has scored more than 500 every time in IPL. That is something to be really proud of and shows the caliber of the batsman and the consistency of the batsman as well. So David Warner, as usual, he was back in his grid and he scored a hard, gritty 50. Sad that he couldn't carry on. It was of paramount importance that he took the team till the end, but he couldn't resist himself and caught on long on by via Kyle Jameson's short ball. And David Warner was furious at himself because he knew the importance of keeping the wickets intact, because he knew how hard it will be for new batsmen to come in and get themselves set up. Anyways, when the AB de Villiers got off, in came Johnny Bairstow, and around the 16th over mark, when we had the timeout, they were still requiring 35 odd runs of 4 overs. So in comes for RCB bowling Shahbaz Ahmed. He is not, he is an all-rounder, but a batting all-rounder. So Virat Kohli generally doesn't go for him to give him more than 2 overs, 3 overs. This time around he also gave him 2 overs, and he gave only 7 runs. But the most important thing was he took 3 wickets, 3 immensely big wicket. First ball straight after the timeout, Johnny Bairstow. It was in his arc, but on this pitch, a sluggish pitch which was spinning a lot than the previous games, it is an ill-advised shot to play across the ball, and there was also bounce on the pitch, so naturally you will be in a lot of danger, slog sweeping a ball. And what we saw, there was a top edge, and AB de Villiers took a great catch tumbling. Then came this shocker of a shot. Manish Pandey, with all his experience, had a rush of blood. He had just seen Johnny Bairstow trying to score trying to hit a ball in the air, trying to go big, but he couldn't resist himself, and Shahbaz Ahmed very smart, very cunningly pitched the ball wide outside off, and Manish Pandey had to reach to the ball and eventually got a leading edge, caught at the short fine leg, short third man, and thus the SRH batting was in complete debacle. The cherry on the top for that over for Shahbaz Ahmed, that he got off the power hitter Abdul Shamad on the final ball of the over. He too went for that slog sweep, same kind of delivery, only this time the catcher was the bowler itself, and thus that over completely train wrecked the inning of SRH. Which brings me to the next question: what are the batsmen doing on these kind of surfaces? Now it's been 2 games in a row. We have seen KKR struggle and SRH struggle. Both struggle. It was a match that they should have comfortably won, as it was admitted by David Warner in the post-match interview. So in all the games which are played in Chennai, it is very evident that it is quite tough to score in the death over last 5 overs, as we saw in the first inning of the RCB batting innings. But it was lack of proper execution from the SRH batsmen. They should have applied themselves. Bairstow and Manish Pandey, being the senior player of the team, should have realized that they should keep the wicket intact, and they can go hard with 7 or 8 wickets in hand at the death overs and score easily 10 runs, because they are the set batsmen. They are not adjusted to the bounce and the turn of the pitch, and now they can play the shot. But that over caused the game for SRH. And the innings was closed beautifully by Harshal Patel and other bowlers. Even though Harshal Patel has little minor hiccups, he bowled 2 no balls, waste high full tosses, and one of the free hits caused a boundary. The other couldn't do much. I'm sorry. None of the free hits were capitalized by SRH. And an interesting thing happened on the last over when Harshal Patel bowled the second above waist height no ball. David Warner was talking to the the boundary umpire regarding whether he should be taken out of the attack, because we know if you bowl 2 beamers, you are out of attack, no question whatsoever. David was asking that to the bowler, to the umpire, but the law says that If the delivery, our waist height deliveries are lethal and dangerous to the batsman, then only you are supposed to, then only you will be out of the attack. And those two balls were just above the waist, so an inch down, and it might be just a high full toss with no ball. So Hustle Patel stayed on, finished the job for the RCB, and RCB eventually won by 6 wickets. It was a crazy match. I had a deja vu feeling like I was watching KKR match all again. So it was a fun game, nail biter again, very different from what we saw 2 days ago in Mumbai. And so that is it. I think the pitches might be more sluggish going forward on in this Chennai pitches, and team will have to get used to that fact and will have to strategize their inning accordingly. The set batsman has to be there till the end, or else it will be very difficult for the newcomers to get going from the ball one, as we saw. Anyways, guys, this is my overview of the yesterday's match between RCB and SRH. I hope you like it. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up, and also consider hitting that subscribe button and notification button as well to get updated on my videos. Tomorrow's match will be between Rajasthan and Delhi, and it's on Mumbai. We know what we can expect from that match: a belter pitch and shorter boundaries. We can expect at least 180 plus game if the batsmen are good from both sides. A big loss for Rajasthan, by the way. Stokes is not available for the entire season now. He broke his finger while in an attempt to take a catch. So it will be interesting to see which player they'll bring now, because Rajasthan has David Miller and I think Liam Livingstone. Those two, they can bring any two of them. If they bring David Miller, then there is a problem of too many left-handers in the side, and so it will be interesting. Liam Livingstone, David Miller is comparatively a better attacking batsman than Liam Livingstone. If they play Liam Livingstone, where will they put him in the batting order? Also, it will be interesting now that the Stokes is not available. Will Butler open the inning, where I think he is more suited to? And this will be a proper interesting match and high scoring. I'm hoping for another nail biter. I'll be here next time with the review with you guys. As always, thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. This is Himanshu Kashyap signing out.